What's happening, YouTube? Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film with my latest DC Multiverse review from McFarlane Toys. This time we're doing McFarlane's DC Multiverse Superman from Superman the Animated Series. Now, Superman the Animated Series, like Batman the Animated Series before it, is one of the greatest superhero cartoons of all time, bar none. Although, the animated series... Okay, let's see. Superman in the 90s. Yeah, I remember watching the live-action Lois and Clark show with Dean Cain as Superman and Terry Hatcher as Lois Lane in that. A little bit as a kid. Couldn't get into it, but my mom was a huge fan of that Superman show back in the 90s. Superman the Animated Series was really, for me at that time, at the age demographic I was aimed at back in the 90s when that came out on Kids WB. Alongside the new Batman Adventures. Technically seasons 3 and 4 of Batman the Animated Series like properly, but Superman the Animated Series came out in the time when I wasn't really huge on Superman, because I was always more of a Batman guy, because due to the animated series being, something I was really in love with, and due to the fact me being a Batman obsessed kid that I was in the 90s, I wasn't big on Superman. It wasn't until all these years later came like, Henry Cavill Superman, Tyler Hoechlin Superman in the Arrowverse, Superman in the Injustice games, that sort of thing. I would eventually get into Superman, and even recently David Cornsweet's Superman and James Gunn's recent 2025 movie reboot, part of James Gunn's DCAU Cinematic Universe, whatever you like to call it. But I wasn't a huge Superman fan when the animated series was out, so that's a disclaimer for those out there. But I amend the animated series now, but back then I was just not a huge Superman kid. I mean, I was always about the man himself, the Cape Crusader, the Dark Knight, world's greatest detective, as opposed to the last son of Krypton, all the man who's all truth, justice, and the American way, the big blue of Metropolis, and with the symbol of hope, the sign of hope with that S symbol, that big red and yellow S on his symbol. But Superman and Batman again are two of the greatest superheroes ever, so I figured let me go all out with the McFarlane line, doing every single Batman and Superman figure I can. And because, well, McFarlane did have a good selection of Superman figures. I got plenty of them, including the recent David Cornsweet Superman figure from the recent movie. But the animated series Superman, I really wanted the most out of all of them, because it's just we're not getting that much animated series Superman stuff. Like, we got in the McFarlane line, I got a new 52 Superman, I got David Cornsweet Superman, I'm going to soon get Henry Cavill and Christopher Reeve Supermans in the line. Then all these other Supermans. I even got this Black Kryptonian Superman from the Superman Lois and Clark comic that I also got recently. And then all of these other different versions of Superman that I also want to add to my Superman collection and DC Multiverse collection. Is all I'm saying. Okay, but enough chit chat. So this is the front of the package of what animated series Superman looks like, with hands and an accessory that he bended it with. That was something titanium. And then you got a animation cell render of Superman flying up in front of his, flying right behind his signature Kryptonian S symbol. And then you also have from this wave this Superman. I already got animated series Batman. There's still that Harley Quinn, but it's going to be hard to find. And then this Batman right here with him holding Joker under his elbow. And again, I can't believe I missed out on these figures when they came out back in, 2021? 2022? So this is yet another DC Multiverse figure I missed out on during the Big V. And they was out for a while, but it's just, again, I couldn't afford them back then because, So with that out of the way, let's up and away, and this looks like a job for PRLostGalaxy2014. I mean, Superman. You get what I mean. So let's take our Clark Kent clothes off and up and away with the Man of Steel. Animated series style. Alright everyone, now that we got animated Superman out of the box, we're going to take a look at some accessories real quick. and see how he stacks up with animated series Batman even on the base stand. So speaking of base stands, we got the base stand with the DC logo again, 2016 DC Comics logo, and then the joint piece to put onto the hole underneath the feet. Then you got 2 different hands for Superman, so I figured that's probably why this piece exists, this accessory piece, where he's bending it and he looks like he's about to like use it to you know, I mean, I guess that's why this accessory piece did exist for this figure. But again, I mind that, but we're going to put that away, but I don't think that's really something to write home about. Nice accessory and all, but that's not what I'm here for. But we do have these spare hands if you want to switch that out for Superman, if he wants to like grab something or grab somebody by the throat, or anything of any means. Trading card featuring animated series Superman, like we saw in the back of the box, and then file card of what animated series Superman is about. So unless you want to pause the video and read this a little bit before I move on. So there you have that. Then you also have the, now we need to talk about the figure. Okay, so like animated series Batman, he has the same sculpting features with the skinny legs, bigger torso, abdomen and everything, chest, broader shoulders and arms. But I say, unlike animated series Batman, animated series Superman, the butterfly joints on the arms, nope, I guess not either on this, but it's just, you can spread the arms out a little bit, but just not as often. But just have them just like this, like, you know, doing that Jesus, you know, pose. I'm like, great. I can't believe I'm homaging Henry Cavill right now with something from the 90s with this Superman. What am I doing? So, yeah, but, I mean, it's very faithful to the cartoon. It's very faithful to how he looked in the DC animated universe by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. And it's very close to how he looks. Even his face is very faithful to that Superman, his hair and everything too, skin tone and all. And then the colors of red, yellow, and blue, because red, yellow, and blue, one of the reasons I do love about Superman is that he has the primary colors, the 3 primary colors of the color spectrum: red, yellow, and blue. So blue being his most signature color, and even red, you know, mixture of red and blue. And but that's what made Superman so darn unique of all the superheroes. And yeah, there's other heroes in the DC universe that have red and blue as a color scheme. Now Marvel, we know Spider-Man has red and blue for that color because, you know, he was bitten by a radioactive spider that had that color scheme too. So you have Superman also, I have him posed like that. I wish I would use this for the thumbnail, but let's see. Take some photos and get a good glimpse of Superman standing all heroic like that. So that's great. So you have him posing just like that, because there's all kinds of ways you can pose Superman and make it, you know, true to the character. So I really like that. Like animated series Batman, he has a, you know, rubber cape, but this one, unlike animated series Batman, see what's so different is that Batman's cape was thick black and blue, but Superman's cape is thinner red. So when they made the figure, and also the way how they made this rubber, it looks almost like a fruit roll-up, the way how they did it. Yeah, of course it's not something to eat, people, but it just looks like a fruit roll-up of a cape. It's just the way how they made the cape on the figure. It's really, you know, really up there. So I really like the way how they, once again, they did a good job on the figure, even though this was yet again another early attempt from McFarlane himself. So let's see about his articulation. His head moves around all right, just fine, although it could be quite a problem because I'm scared of breaking off the ball joint of the head. So you have that articulation, despite it being based on a cartoon. As for his arms, you got good arm movement, just like animated series Batman. So there you go with those arm movements. Then elbow crunch. Well, elbow crunches are already set on both figures of Superman, so that's fine and dandy right there. No butterfly joints to spread out on the arms I just showed earlier. Unlike animated series Superman, his abdomen and his upper chest area won't tilt just like Batman did earlier, because it's just like stand still. Because I don't know why, for like with Batman, why did they made his figure tilt loose from the waist and abdomen like that? It just it did dawn on me upon reviewing on that last time, but it just felt weird. So, and then also let's take a look at his leg articulation too. So his knee crunches are solid, fine, no problems there. And but though the leg on my Superman from this is a little stiff, but maybe the more I play with it, won't be so tough to, bend. So when he poses and everything, he has toe articulation, so you can flip the toes over just like that, and then you also can flip his feet down and from the ankles. Yeah, I just don't understand why the heck they made Superman and Batman in their animated looks. They got bigger torsos and everything, but they just really had to exaggerate the bodies where the legs are smaller than their chests and stomachs and arms, and I don't understand why, but it should have been more faithful and cartoon accurate, is all I'm saying. I mean, again, these were good figures of Superman and Batman from their respective DCAU cartoon counterparts, but they really should have not overdid it, and I think they felt a little overdone, is what I'm saying. So after getting finally animated series Batman and Superman in my DC Multiverse collection, I mean, they're good figures, but I'm kind of a little mixed on them in terms of like how they over exaggerated certain proportions from what they looked like in the cartoons. So I mean, again, I grew up on the DC animated universe, and it's still my favorite incarnation of in terms of DC and animation. I didn't grow up on that Super Friends stuff that our parents grew up with, when they were young in the 70s or whatever. This was my DC animated universe growing up, and I will always cherish that universe with all of my heart until the day I'm no more and old and dead and everything, but you get the point. But and now you got animated series and animated Superman and animated series Batman together. World's finest, The Dark Knight and the Man of Steel from the DC animated universe from the 90s and early 2000s standing together. It would have been great if McFarlane had did animated series Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Supergirl in them from from the DCAU in this line back then. But he felt that doing those figures, they probably wouldn't sell as much as Batman and Superman, because man, I got like a whole lot of Superman and Batman figures to review this fall, folks. But this is just like, well, I finally got World's Finest from Gotham City and Metropolis all in the same video. Plenty more to come though, of course, so let's put Batman away. So that's it for my review on animated series Superman. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends. I'll see you guys next time if you really enjoyed this video with more figures to review from DC, Marvel, and the like. And I'll see you guys next time.